organization is all P2. They are the ones who are promoting the right-wing death squads in Central and South America, Mexico, the drug cartels in Colombia. We're talking Catholic, Knights of Malta, drug cartels, Colombia, extraordinary vice on a level which it is hard for most humans to recognize, and it's all being orchestrated out of the Holy Father and Rome. This is why I've said so many times, there's never going to be a time in the history of this country that America will be saved. I don't believe America can be saved. I truly do not believe that America or the human race, I don't think it's just my opinion again, but I don't think the human race can be saved, and I don't think America can be saved, because so many millions of people just love the filth and degeneracy of the world we live in. They love it. They love the Holy Father and all the pomp and glory of all the politicians and kings and rulers and the pusillanimous pictures of Bush kissing the ring of the Holy Father. What does that look like for Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, in full color on the news, bowing down and curtsying and bowing down and kissing the ring of a Roman pontiff? The men who founded our great nation would throw up with this treason, high crimes and treason against the state by these people who call themselves America's leaders. I'm telling you, the Vatican has given us the mafia, drug running, prostitution, terrorism, violence,
child
pornography, all of it.
And the children that are disappearing. Are you familiar with Leo Zagami?
Say it again.
Leo Zagami.
Oh yes, yeah. I've heard him many times.
He has talked about when he's gone back into the fold because they tortured him. But when he was out for a moment talking to us, he talked about underneath the Vatican is a huge reptilian base.
I don't know. I wasn't there, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
I don't know.
So there is some kind of link up between the agenda of the Illuminati, the Vatican, who's heading all of that up, and this reptilian rollout that to get back to where we were talking about, and perhaps this so-called figure who is taking the throne and the symbolism that you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't shock me. I want to say something about Dan Brown's movies.
Okay. Angels and Demons and
the other
one.
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code, and now this new one.
Is it really called the
I think it's called the hidden symbol or the secret symbol or something like that.
Okay.
Which my producer friend and I were going to do a movie, and we were going to call it The Hidden Secret or The Secret Symbol.
I understand.
And now there's Dan Brown comes out. As far as I'm concerned, I have no respect whatsoever for Dan Brown. None. I have no respect for the man at all. Because as far as I'm concerned, he's plagiarized and stolen. And I don't like people who steal, because I've had it happen to me.
He stole from Holy Blood, Holy Grail, isn't that right?
Absolutely. He stole the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He stole the whole thing. That whole story, Dan Brown and the Da Vinci Code and all this other angels and demons, all of that he stole. Now let me tell you what I think. This is just my opinion. I think Dan Brown is a plant. I think he's nothing more than a paid lackey and a plant. I am totally sure that the real Illuminati, whoever these guys are at the top of the world, use people like Dan Brown who don't mind making a lot of money to become a whore. And I think that's all he is. In my humble opinion, I think Dan Brown's just a whore. He's just taking the money and sleeping with the enemy. Because I think what he's doing is he is nothing more than presenting what his masters behind the scenes want the public. And so they will spend all kinds of money telling you about how wonderful Dan Brown is, and oh my God, he's so brilliant and intelligent, and all this silly nonsense. And the people who are so used to sucking up to Hollywood will believe that stuff. Me, I've been around Hollywood 48 years. I know this stuff backwards and forwards. I think Dan Brown is nothing more than a front for a very powerful Masonic order in Europe, which is trying to lay the foundations for this Novus Ordo Seclorum, dawn of a new day, sunrise thing that's coming. I think Dan Brown is nothing more than a whore taking the money and making it look like he's the one that came up with this, when in point of fact, no, it was stolen. It was stolen from three men in England, Bagent, Lee, and Lincoln. Back in 1980, there was a book put out, and it became a New York bestseller for many, many months. It was a top-of-the-line bestseller called Holy Blood, Holy Grail. And the three authors were three British authors, Bagent, Lee, and Lincoln. And they outlined for the first time the story of the Knights Templar Masonic Order in Europe, the Knights of the Holy Grail, the whole concept of a Masonic secret society operating in the world. And I would be a bit surprised if they weren't better informed about this than what they let us know. I don't think they just by chance happened upon it. I think they already knew something, and they were putting it out in the book in such a way as to start people thinking about it. But nonetheless, Bagent, Lee, and Lincoln were extraordinarily brilliant writers, and their research was impeccable. I mean, these guys nailed it down, and even today around the world, people who are knowledgeable in these subjects will agree. Bagent, Lee, and Lincoln did one hell of a job. They had their homework done.
Okay, well, I have one last question, and this has been an amazing journey to take with you, and I hope that we can go down that road a little further in the future. And I think that people that are watching this really need to get up to speed with following your other work, your previous work, hopefully attending any conferences you're speaking at. I believe that you are coming forward. You just spoke. You had no preparation whatsoever, and you spoke at our Awake and Aware Camelot conference here in Los Angeles just last weekend, and it's really an honor to be here with you. But I want to ask you if you think that this Illuminati and what's going on in the United States right now, do you really think that they are going to be successful in taking down